One of our theme gardens this year is our medicinal herb garden. And when you're planting herbs, one of the best things that you can do for them is to find a well-drained site. And most herbs like a really sunny location with a lot of good air circulation. And that's what we have out here. We have a round plot here, and you'll notice it's mounded up, and we've also amended it with a lot of good organic matter so that it drains really well. Well, you'll notice that our path here, kind of in a snail-like pattern, we had this circle that we wanted to plant in, and we may be wanting to harvest some of our herbs out of the middle. And this actually is a great way for us to have access to all of our herbs, because if you'll notice here, as I'm on the path, I can reach either direction, but I won't be walking in the soil and compacting the soil when I'm here. Well, to start off with some of our medicinal herbs that we're planting, we're going to start on the west side here because these herbs like full sun. And St. John's wort is one of the herbs that we're planting. And this is something that you might find growing wild out in a pasture. Now all we need to do is just kind of get some of those roots loosened up there and then just start planting. Now you want to plant these so that their crown is even with the soil surface. You don't really want to bury that too deeply there. Well, another herb that likes a lot of sun is our wild white yarrow. And this is something that you might even find growing in your yard. And this is the Achillea, and it has, like the name says, a white bloom. And this is the one that is actually most potent as far as medicinal purposes go. The ones with white blooms are really good about that. Now we're actually putting our herb garden in more for demonstration purposes, and I would caution you that if you haven't worked with herbs and you don't know what you're doing, don't just start treating yourself with herbs without knowing what you're doing. Be sure that you have studied up on it, or you go to someone who actually knows how to use herbs properly before starting to use them. Now this herb is really very pretty. You'll notice the bright green leaves. It looks almost elm-like. This is called Germander, and it's another one of the medicinal herbs that we're going to have displayed here. Now you'll notice as I'm planting all of these that I'm planting them very far apart. This is about 2 feet, maybe even more than that, distance. And that's a common problem that people have when they're planting herbs. Now these are all perennials, and they were started from seed, and so they're very small. But this actually will grow to a height of about 18 inches and have a nice round spread. So if all of these have a spread like that, once they fill in, we'll actually have a very nicely filled herb garden here. Well, this one here, lamb's ears, again, is traditionally a medicinal herb, but it's also just a wonderful herb to feel. It has such a nice, soft texture to it. And it, again, likes full sun, and it's very particular about drainage. It likes to have very good drainage. So we're going to put it over here where it's sloping down a little bit so that our water drains down. And you'll notice, even as I've dug down deeper, our soil is still been amended well enough that it's got good drainage. We haven't hit that hard clay yet. And that's very important for lamb's ears because they actually can drown out on you fairly easily. Okay, well, we've planted our full sun perennials, and now we've got a few that like full sun or kind of partial shade, and so we're going to put those over on the east side of our garden, and hopefully our mound that we have here and also other plants are going to shield those from that direct west sun that we're going to have this summer. Now this feverfew likes full sun to partial shade, and that's why we're going to put it on this side. And again, we've got a good root system here. We just need to keep Get a few of those roots kind of loosened up there so they don't keep going around in a circle. Now this plant has beautiful leaves on it. This is lady's mantle. And again, it likes that partial shade. So we'll just slip it in over here. And finally, our motherwort, which if you look at it, it has a leaf that's very similar to the lady's mantle, but it's a different shade and it has more veining in it. And so these will look very pretty planted next to each other here. And we'll slip that in right here. Now our final herb, which is called Healall, and it is one of the unusual ones in that it likes a lot of shade. And we're going to put it in over here and see how it does, but we're going to have to watch this, and if it looks like it's not doing well, we may have to move this herb to another location. So we'll just get that in there, and then we'll go back and water these in. And we'll have to come back later and see how these look after they've started growing.
We hope you enjoyed this video. It's part of our OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. You can also find more recent videos on our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.